Hello, welcome back to Perkins Pipes. Got the gorgeous Bing's Smooth Bing's Favorite by Savinelli. One of my all-time favorites. In fact, this has appeared in more of these videos than any other, and no particular reason, but boy, I just wanted to bring this out. Actually, hadn't had him out in a video for a while, and I'm not even sure that I had smoked him for a while, so wanted to bring this guy out. Got an interesting one for you today, and some interesting questions to go along with it. As always, let's get this guy lit. Let's get to talking. I've had several episodes on here before where we've talked about the television show The West Wing. Some very powerful episodes, powerful writing, really, really wonderful acting in that TV series. And the one I'm thinking about today comes from season 1, episode 10. And there's an episode called In Excelsis Deo, which of course, gotta love it because of the Latin, right? Glory to God in the highest. But there's a particular scene in this one really centering around President Jed Bartlett. Now, figuring into the scene is his chief of staff, Leo McGarry. Of course, we got Martin Sheen here as the president, John Spencer as his chief of staff. His deputy chief of staff, Joshua Lyman, played by Bradley Whitford, is in this scene. The president sneaks out of the White House for a few hours to go buy Christmas gifts for friends. Now, one of the recurring features of the show is how erudite the president is. He got his undergraduate degree from Notre Dame, studied at the London School of Economics, has a Nobel Prize, he's a brilliant man, knows his Latin, knows history very well. And while they're in the store, he's particularly shopping with his friend, his chief of staff, Leo McGarry. He pulls off 3 books, and they're just kind of loading up books, and then they go to buy them. The first one he pulls off is an edition of Phaedrus, who wrote fables in Greco-Roman antiquity. And he says, ooh, here's the fables of Phaedrus in red leather, gilded, with an engraved frontis. Then they're looking around some other stuff, and he comes across something that he decides he's going to give to his daughter, because she's going to be headed off to Georgetown University the following fall, and it is the poem by Lucretius, De Rerum Natura, on the nature of things. It's a translation. And he says, oh, it's got brown Moroccan leather. And then it seems like they're ready to go, and he just grabs 2 more books off the shelf. He says, Life of Epicurus, 2 volumes, and off they go. I love that scene. Why? Because it shows the value of books. Oops, sorry, I dropped my phone there. It shows the value of books. Nice editions of books in leather and gilded spine and have engraving and all this sort of stuff. Shows the value of the classics, even in translation. And it shows that there are people who enjoy giving and receiving really nice books as gifts. Should have brought some of these out, and I didn't think about it. When my father-in-law was still alive, and in the early years of my marriage to his daughter, he used to give me, for Christmas each year, a nice volume of some author. And used to be you could get these kinds of things at Barnes and Noble. And I remember he gave, oh, let's see here. What can I remember? I remember he gave me a volume of Jack London. Had a couple of Jack London novels in it. Gave me a volume of Mark Twain. Volume of Poe. Edgar Allan Poe. Many others. And of course, I've given some to my wife. I give my wife a nice edition of Jane Eyre. Jane Eyre. Well, that's funny. Jane Austen. I had a friend who gave me a gorgeous red leather edition of Pope's Iliad. Not an antiquarian volume, but was still a very, very, very nice volume. I'm not talking about just giving a book. Now, I've received a lot of those too, and I've given a lot of those too. All right, maybe a devotional book, or I don't know, maybe a book of poetry. I've had students give me books that were very, very nice, and I've appreciated them. But I'm talking about really, really nice editions of books. Maybe antiquarian, very often bound in leather. Very often with some nice tooling on the spine or on the cover. Very often with some engraved plates, as we say, or some color plates, some illustrations inside. Those are the kinds of gifts that mean so much. They mean so much for multiple reasons. First of all, we honestly should be grateful for any gift that we receive, even a pair of socks. And a pair of socks is very helpful. Need to wear socks. In fact, I do most of the time, right, unless I'm wearing sandals. But I'm not going to keep socks forever. They're not going to be a prized possession for me. Nor, quite frankly, is there anything unique about them in the giving or there being a gift. Now, you give me an edition, some leather-bound edition, say, of Milton. That says you know me. Right, that says you really get Steve. You understand Steve. He would appreciate this, and I'm going to give it to him. It may say something about our relationship, because maybe I know you, and I know that you're a literary-minded person. You value not only words, but also the production of them, the physical production of them, in printed form. I've got a very, very good friend whose father-in-law had an unbelievable library. I mean, truly unbelievable. 2 levels, massive, massive room in the home. And when he passed away, those books were sold at auction in England, and boy, they fetched quite the price. He had first editions of stuff. Like, I think there was an F. Scott Fitzgerald Gatsby. There may have been a Frankenstein. So some really, really, really heavy-hitting books here. Now, many of you are readers. I know this because you tell me. You tell me this in your comments. You tell me this in emails to me. Where are you when it comes to the really nice editions of books? Again, the leather-bound, the antiquarian. Do you go out of your way ever to purchase books like that for yourself? Have you received any fine editions of books from friends or relatives? Have you ever given... one of the questions I really want to know from you is, have you ever given fine editions of books as gifts? And if so, how do you pick them out? How do you determine what book you're going to give to what person? You say, oh, I know this person collects editions of Shakespeare, and here's an edition of Shakespeare this person may not have had. I just know that this person likes Emily Dickinson a lot, and here's a really cool edition of Emily Dickinson. I think I'll get this person. Maybe I just know this person likes Latin. So this is an old edition of Latin. I don't really know what it is, but I think this person would like it. How do you make those determinations? Where do you buy them? You buy them online? Something like, there's a wonderful shop, abebooks.com. And there's many other used and antiquarian booksellers online, of course. Do you go into antiquarian stores and peruse? Do you get yourself lost in the aisles looking at those books? Well, folks, I'd love to hear what you have to say about that. I know I would have loved to receive any of those books that President Bartlett bought. As Malcolm Guite likes to say, I do these little things in order at last to do nothing. Oh yeah, but as I like to say in Latin, Parva agam ut tandem, nihil agam. Have a wonderful day.